TGIF, happy Friday, everyone. Oh man, this weekend is going to be awesome. For me, it's going to be a hot, sweaty weekend. Right now, it's 97 degrees, and today's going to be a track running day. I'm going to be drenched in sweat here. It's going to be a doozy. Not to mention tomorrow, it's also going to be a hot one for me as well. I'm going to have to actually try to play some golf this weekend, so I might be able to post a bonus video tomorrow. Welcome if you are new. If you enjoyed today's video, definitely smash the like button. I tend to put out videos Monday through Friday on this YouTube channel. However, Saturdays, I tend to really put out bonus videos. I've been getting some requests to how to set up like TradingView in a way. If you are new to using TradingView and setting up kind of like moving averages, very simple stuff, very easy stuff that anyone can do. So tomorrow, I'm probably more than likely going to be posting a bonus video talking more about SpaceX, because SpaceX is IPOing today. It is not, I am a retail trader, a retail investor. Obviously, I'm not Wall Street, so I don't have any special kind of access, and I'm also not big money over here. But right now, SpaceX, for pretty much Robinhood, it's not available. On TradingView, it probably won't be available until tomorrow. I just want to go ahead and check Webull really quickly. My public profile dedicated to this YouTube channel, my Webull profile. I'll be showing that momentarily. I just want to see if SpaceX is actually available on Webull. I saw somebody post earlier today that Charles Schwab, I think I just butchered that, might be, nope, it's not available on Webull. Okay, so basically pretty much this is a very typical thing. A lot of times when companies IPO, they're not really going to be shown until like around noon or whenever they pretty much start. Not every single IPO is the same. Some IPOs will be available to trade, to buy pretty much at the market open. A lot of the big IPOs, they tend to be a little later in the day. Why is that? I personally believe that Elon is making this IPO on Friday for a reason. So this IPO is probably going to go up in price. Am I going to be buying this IPO? No. I talked about this yesterday. I'll talk about it a little bit more momentarily. But all throughout the weekend, you're going to see Musk all over X, social media, going on interviews, pretty much pumping up SpaceX, especially for next week as well. I do want to talk about quite a bit of things in today's video. I'm going to try to keep it below 20 minutes here, so please bear with me. One, we have broken $85, baby, on oil. Bullish. Next week, Wednesday, I'm going to be actually getting a haircut during the new Fed governor's meeting, but I'm going to be listening to it afterwards. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Kevin Walsh is going to be coming out. I believe that he's going to squash rate hikes entirely. The Iran war, let's keep our fingers crossed, knock on some wood, be positive, keep good thoughts, good prayers. Hopefully a solid peace deal is going to be like today, tomorrow, or whenever. I personally think it's probably going to be maybe sometime over this weekend, definitely before the Fed meeting next week. $85, the Federal Reserve has stated, if oil is below 85, it's not really going to affect inflation too much. So therefore, next month when we get all the government data, we should see a move down in inflation. Extremely bullish. Rate hikes fears go away. We're going to have stocks pretty much, in my opinion, very much soar. Now, going on the flip side, why isn't SoFi pretty much up by 10%? Why isn't SoFi going back to 20 bucks? Why isn't, well, Robinhood is getting a nice move. Why isn't Palantir? Why isn't software pretty much exploding higher? So, Couple reasons. SpaceX, primarily being the first and big reason. The second reason, really, is that a lot of institutions, they want something solid and concrete. They're sick and tired of, okay, we got something, we got a peace deal, now we're doing attacks, now we get a peace deal going, now we're doing more attacks. A lot of big institutions, they want a finalization deal. I don't blame them. I really don't. If I was a hedge fund manager, some large institution, I'd be like, okay, President Trump, give us something concrete that we can actually not have a choppy market anymore, a market going up, going down, going up, going down. Then we're going to see money rotate into obviously risky assets, like SoFi is a speculative name, risky assets, even though it is a growth company. It's still considered risky by Wall Street. We're going to see money roll back into risky stocks. Staple companies are obviously going to be getting a very big boost. Pretty much consumer-driven companies. SaaS, software, I do believe is going to recover. AMD is very much retaking $500 because AMD is just where the money is at. Hardware is where the money is going. Now, Adobe. I got to talk about Adobe because some bad stuff is actually covering this stock. And I am an Adobe bull, but I got to stick to my strategy when it comes to investing and also trading. Otherwise, you basically pretty much get clobbered, pulverized if you change your strategy. So Adobe out of the software stocks are experiencing very much the worst downtrend that is pretty much taking place. I mean, you're talking Adobe is now below where the Iran war basically started. We go to Palantir. Palantir is also too, but the thing about Palantir is that their growth rates have really caught up, and the fears around Palantir tends to really be, hey, can these growth rates be sustainable? That's really the thing that's plaguing Palantir. ServiceNow, obviously software as well too. ServiceNow and also Salesforce CRM, AI is going to be integrated a lot more into their business model, but still, the entire SaaS apocalypse and the money is basically pretty much leaving beaten down stocks, aka software, to really fund SpaceX. Because the $1 trillion that basically pretty much SpaceX is going to be having, well, it doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from somewhere. And many, many big hedge funds, institutions, they're going to be cutting losses significantly on their down stocks, or maybe if they were significantly up, let's say on Adobe, because maybe they owned Adobe years ago, and they're like, okay, let's go ahead and cut a loss. Now, Adobe is really shaking a lot of people up because, well, firstly and foremost, Adobe, they had a triple beat. Their earnings came out. You're talking 13% year-over-year revenue growth. Okay, the company is still growing compared to a company like PayPal with 4% year-over-year revenue growth. I mean, hey, the company even guided further. What is going on with Adobe? Well, some sad things. So firstly, the CEO has already mentioned in the previous quarter that he is stepping down. I believe the CEO was with the company for 18, 19 years. Now, out of randomness, the CFO is also leaving as well, too. This is definitely throwing some hibbity-jibbities up in the air. Yeah. So you have okay, what is going on here? I'm trying to click on more events, but I guess more events is really not allowing me to do so. You basically have the CEO and you have the CFO of Adobe leaving as well too. Hold on one second. I got to go ahead and pull up an article here. Okay. Yeah, you know, why is TradingView being such an asshat today? Well, I'll just go ahead and pull up on the screen right here. Okay, so anyways, yes, the CFO, Chief Financial Officer, along with the CEO, they're both leaving after many years. Many years. They are leaving the company. So if you are a big institution and you're looking at this, you're probably scared shitless, because the thing about it and the reality is that big institutions, the moment that they smell a fart, they leave. This might be a little immature, a little gross to say, but if you smell a bad fart, what does that indicate? That means that there's probably going to be some shit pretty soon, right? So if you smell something very crappy, well, that means the crap could be happening very soon. So what does this change for my overall investing strategy into Adobe? If you are new, like I said, welcome. I'm doing a public account profile challenge for education and motivation purposes. Looking to take this account to 6 figures in the course of 17 months. This account challenge started 2 January this year. And we are up right now on this account 28%, guiding very much higher. May of next year, hopefully this account is very much at 6 figures. If it's not, I still make money, which is a smile on my face. It really is. Let's say this account is only at 80,000 by next May, May of 2027. Okay, big whoop-de-dee-doo-dah. I still make friggin' money. That's a glorious thing, right? But I personally do really feel this account is going to be at $100,000 plus. Why is that? AMD is probably going to be well beyond $1,000 a share by May of next year. SoFi could very well at that point be, call me crazy, very much be in the high 30s at that point. So you're talking about AMD doing a double up. That's going to be plus 22 grand. That gives this account to $72,000. You're talking about SoFi doing a double up. So you're talking 72, 82 plus maybe another couple thousand, maybe even more. Call it 85,000 even. Robinhood, I do believe, is going to be doing a double up going to May of next year. So you're talking 6,000, so an extra 6,000, you're at like 92 and something. I do see ServiceNow very much doing a double up. That's an extra 1,000. Not to mention, I'm going to be depositing some more money into this account as well too. Palantir, I also do see very much big gains in the future. So all in all, this account could very well be in the mid 80s to potentially even the low 90s by just of what I mentioned. Adobe. This hurts. On my private profile, I am invested in the same type of stock. So I have well over 5 figures invested into Adobe. And I am down on this account, and I'm also down on my private account as well too. What do you do in this situation? So, hypothetically, I could very well cut my loss right now, and this account will still be very much in the green. I could very much walk away, and I could say, okay, a lot of things are very much shaking up at the company. The thing about it is that the company is still growing. Nothing crazy like AMD, nothing crazy like SoFi. Obviously, this company is growing. PayPal is growing less than Adobe. But I mean, Adobe is still very much it's not, I mean, even Meta. Meta has a, you mean out of a Mag 7 company, Meta's growing at 30% year over year. They're a growing company. Adobe, in my opinion, they're still a growing company. I mean, they just put up numbers, 13%. There is a lot of internal noise. It's not necessarily external. Yes, there is external, but there's also internal as well too. We have the CEO that is leaving. We have the CFO that is also putting in the can. this is one of those situations where I got to really stick to my guns here. And my rule of thumb, especially on a very large position like this, is if this position falls very much into around 35 to 40% of a down position, it's going to start signaling to me that, hey, this really is not the one here. It very well could be moving to dead money. We could very much see this stock trending to 150, which is a little really scary. Right now, we did actually break $200. So that is definitely a scary psychological level. We are rebounding above $200. But the thing about it is they put up their earnings, and like you're talking the margins are I believe their margins are 44 and some change. Their margins are decreasing by very single digits, like one or 2 points here and there. Their margins aren't collapsing in the sense as in the upper single digits, very lower single digits, but at the same time, they're still guiding higher. It's just the AI fears, but then again, where is all the money going to? All the money is going to hardware. So there is so much downward pressure, but here is the reality. The reality is this. For me personally, as an Adobe shareholder, the reality is, when is money going to come back to software? Is it going to be later this year? Is it going to be later next year? And if I were to hold on to Adobe until then, is Adobe going to go down into the 150s? Am I going to be down by 40%? Am I going to be down by 50%? Like that's a lot. That is a substantial, amount in this account. Now, the thing about Robinhood, if you go back a couple months and look at this public profile, Robinhood was down over 25%. Why was I not talking about Robinhood the way I am talking about Adobe right now? Is because the CEO at Robinhood, he's a baller, great CEO. The CEO and the management team, they're not friggin' leaving the company. Robinhood is experiencing external noise because they're a gambling company and because a Bitcoin is risk off. When cryptocurrency recovers, we're going to see Robinhood well past $1.50, well past $200, well past $250 a share. Oh yeah, Robinhood's going to be, when a risky market comes on, you're going to see Robinhood just move. Adobe, it's hard to see that. So here's the reality. For me personally, if Adobe goes down to 35% of a loss for me, I'm going to start doing some exit strategy. And the way that I exit my losses is I do it in increments. I don't go ahead and click the entire sell button. I do it in increments. Why do I do that? Because just in case there is a rally, and just in case I'm wrong also, and maybe something happens really good for the company, and the stock continues to go up and I can recoup some of my losses. Do I believe I'm going to get back the full 30%? Hypothetically, right now, because there is so much noise around Adobe, if Adobe were to go to $300 per share, I would click the sell button of every single one of my shares. That is honestly where I am mentally. And that's a little scary to go ahead and say. But that is truly where I am mentally with Adobe. Because the thing about it is that there is just now noise inside the company. SoFi, they have noise outside the company. The inside the company is a friggin' amazing palace. Inside the SoFi, castle is utterly crazy. It's beautiful inside the SoFi Palace. Inside the Adobe Palace, people are running around like with their heads chopped off, okay? It's very different. So when it comes to me and my strategy of investing and trading, this is where you got to stick to your strategy. Now, the funny thing about it is I could friggin' sell all of my down positions right now. I could sell my Adobe, Palantir, my Meta. Meta, I've already taken a lot of profits because I was up close to 15%. I was selling a lot. But I could take all my down stock. I could literally just roll all that money into friggin' AMD right now, and I could recoup all that money in the next year. Why would I not want to do that? Because that is not being diversified, and that is just moving even more into a risky, sticky situation. Okay, that's going to put my AMD position that has taken over this friggin' profile. My AMD position on this profile would be what, like 60% or something? That is, now I'm not saying there are so many people out there that have done that, basically liquidated a lot of their profile into like one winner position. But understand the psychological risk of doing that, and also understand the monetary risk of doing that too. And that's definitely not the way to really invest 101, is to just really go all in into what is like rock and rolling right now. Okay, I got loads of money invested into AMD. So I also don't want to be over leveraged on AMD too. But what would I do with the money rotating out of Adobe? There are discounts left and right now in the stock market. There really are. This stock market, it's really only being led by really hardware. You got stocks like on their 52, like on a 52-week lows, like you look at the stock market. I believe it's like either 40 or 60% of the S&P 500 is down from their 52-week high. It's bad. So there are so many opportunities out there. That is really bullish in my own like strategy. But there's definitely going to be some changes to this public account. I can go ahead and tell you. And for me in my own strategy, the way that I get out of down stocks is I do it in increments. So next week or the week after, if things maybe get really ugly still for Adobe, you could very well see me sell a quarter of my position, and I could be buying more stock. Yeah, like I said, I've stated this many times before. Not a financial advisor. What I'm pretty much talking about is what I'm doing. This is really my own personal strategy. I've been in this market now for 6+ years. Every single year that I have made bank, 2020, 21, 22, 24, 25, and this year as well, I have stuck to my strategy. What happened in 2023? I didn't stick to my strategy, and I got pulverized. 2023, I had more losses than profits because I didn't stick to my strategy. What would me not sticking to my strategy be? Adobe goes to a 35% loss for me on paper. I'm going to give it more time. Now I'm at 40%. Ah, man, I'm down too much. I can't sell. I can't sell. Now I'm down 45%. Ah, man, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm going to say on closing to this video, why am I not buying more Adobe shares? Because I very well could. Because there is a lot of internal noise. If there was external noise only, I would be buying. And the whole reason I started buying Adobe is because the external noise. Now we got noise inside the castle. That is when you got to be disciplined. And that is when you got to realize, hey, there's noise on the outside. Okay, the management team is holding stuff down. But hey, there's noise now inside the castle. We got to see what happens. So on the optimistic side of Adobe is that a new management team does come on deck, and maybe they go ahead and spice stuff up. I mean, hey, Anthony Noto, he pretty much refounded SoFi. So therefore, you have a management team like pretty much so because Anthony Noto was not the first very much CEO of SoFi here. Oh boy, hold on one second. We got SpaceX running, baby. Hold on. Live action here, boys. Boys and girls, I should say. And SpaceX is live. It is 11:47 Eastern Standard Time. Look at it. Look at her go. If you got into SpaceX at $135 or $149, I believe it, SpaceX IPO, congratulations. So definitely keep your eye on what SpaceX is doing. Me personally, I'm not going to be buying SpaceX. I'm not going to be trading it. But I will say we got to really see when the big money starts leaving SpaceX, because where is all that money going to go? Where is all that money going to go? It's probably going to go back into hardware, right? Happy Friday once again, everyone. If you enjoyed today's episode, smash the like button. Like I said, stay tuned for the bonus video tomorrow. I'm going to be setting up some TradingView. It's very simple and easy. And I'll definitely be talking about SpaceX a little more. And keep things real. Always good health vibes, good wealth vibes as well too. And see you later. Bye.